Amina's house was small, a round mud hut with a thatched roof and a cooking fire that always burned, even if only to heat a pot of porridge. She had little more than a few goats, some chickens, and a heart that never tired of giving. Every morning, Amina walked the same path to fetch water from the nearby well. The trail was shaded by baobab trees and lined with thorny bushes that rustled with the morning breeze. But it was also the place where an old, crippled beggar sat, day in and day out, on a woven mat near the path. His name was Mzee Juma. His legs were twisted from an accident long ago, and his eyes had the weary, distant look of a man who had known both suffering and silence. No one knew where Mzee Juma came from. He had just appeared one day, like a forgotten ghost of a story too old to be remembered. Most villagers passed by him with polite nods or looks of discomfort. Some tossed him a coin or a scrap of bread. But it was Amina who did more. Each morning, after gathering water, she would return to her hut, prepare her modest breakfast, and then scoop a portion into a calabash bowl. She walked back down the path and sat with the old man, offering him food and her company. They rarely spoke much in the beginning. Just a simple exchange of greetings, a shikamu from her, and merahaba from him. Then silence, punctuated only by the sounds of birds or the occasional donkey cart passing by. Over time, the silence grew warm. Words began to spill from Mzee Juma. Memories, riddles, proverbs, and laughter. He told tales of far-off places, of cities with buildings taller than trees, and roads that glittered at night. Amina listened, amused and curious, though she thought much of it was the fantasy of an old man who had little else. Still, she kept feeding him. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Her neighbors began to talk. "Why do you waste food on that old beggar?" one woman scoffed. "You have a child to feed. You have your own problems." But Amina only smiled. "He eats alone. I don't want him to die alone." One evening, after the rains had cooled the earth and painted the skies with purple clouds, Amina arrived as usual with her pot of food. Mzee Juma looked at her differently that day. His eyes were clearer, brighter. "My daughter," he said slowly, "do you know who I am?" Amina laughed. "You are Mzee Juma, my friend." He smiled. "I am that, yes. But I am also more. I once owned a company. In the city. Nairobi. You may not believe it, but I was a billionaire." Amina blinked, confused. "Billionaire? I had everything. Houses, cars, businesses. But I lost my family. I lost love. I lost my health. And when all the noise died down, I was left with nothing. I came here to disappear. To see if anyone would care for me, not my money." He paused, his voice shaking. "And you fed me. You sat with me. You didn't care if I was rich or poor, mad or sane. You showed me love." Amina said nothing, unsure what to believe. It was just a story, wasn't it? The next morning, Mzee Juma was gone. In his place was a letter, tucked neatly beneath the mat. Inside it was a bank slip, a title deed, and a short note written in steady, deliberate handwriting. "This land, this house, and the account in the bank now belong to you and your child. You gave me more than food. You gave me dignity. You gave me hope. This is the least I can do. Juma." Amina sat in stunned silence for a long time, the paper trembling in her hands. Word spread quickly. People came in disbelief. The documents were real. A bank official even came from the city to verify it. Amina was now the owner of a farm on the river's edge, a proper house, and an account that would take care of her son's future. But Amina did not change. She remained the same gentle soul, humble, grounded, singing lullabies under the orange skies. Only now, she had more bowls, more pots, and more food to share. She built a shelter for elders. She hired people in the village. She gave work to those who needed it and food to those who had none. The same kindness she had given to Mzee Juma, she now extended to many. And every morning, before starting her day, she would stop by the path under the baobab trees and place a small bowl of porridge on the mat where Mzee Juma once sat. "Just in case he visits," she'd say with a smile. The moral of this story? Kindness costs nothing, but can change everything. In a world where people often help with expectation, true generosity stands out like the morning sun. Amina gave not because she had much, but because she had a heart that knew the value of compassion. So if you're still watching, remember, you never know who you're helping. That tired old man, that forgotten woman, that quiet child. They could carry stories bigger than you can imagine. And your act of love could be the spark that changes a life, or many. Like this story? Hit the like button. Subscribe for more powerful, heartwarming tales that remind us of what truly matters. And don't forget to share, because kindness, like stories, is meant to be passed on.